Hi guys, welcome back to the Turismo Diaries. You join me in the GT because we're on our way to Sterling Car Services because they've kindly lent me the key to their Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Ladies and gentlemen, behind me is the V8 Vantage. I could literally stand here and just look at this car all day without explanation, but we're going to run through a few history facts. So the Vantage itself has been with us for over 13 years. I think it came out in 2006. 3 years prior to that, it was unveiled at the North American Auto Show as a concept. And as I say, it's been with us for quite a while now. The designer, Henrik Fisker, is responsible for its overall looks, and you may recognise that name, Fisker, from the Fisker Karma, which I personally don't think is the best looking car. However, he is responsible for the X5 BMW and the Z8, as well as the DB9 and the V8 Vantage. So it's safe to say he's better designing when he's got a brief, when he's got to capture the essence of any one car manufacturer. I think he's done that brilliantly here. Before we move on to the external styling itself, I just want to point out that this car was £80,000 new when it was released, and I went on to Auto Trader last night to have just to brush up on a few more details about the car, and you can see down the Sterling's advert is there, and this now for sale for £33,000. I thought it was an absolute bargain. I've had it for a short while this morning, and it's absolutely fantastic. It feels like such a lot of car for the money. But let's go have a look at it a bit closer up. So up front, it's business as usual for the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. You've got that trademark grille, which we now see even on the later cars. You've also got these gorgeous headlights, which do now bear some resemblance to the Z8 and of course the DB9. You've got a very cool location for the indicator as well on the inside face, on the eye drops, if you will, and then you've got this front bonnet which hides the V8 underneath. Down the side we've got these 19-inch alloy wheels in silver. I think they look even modern by today's standards, and you've got the Aston Martin centre cap and the Aston Martin branded calipers. They're Brembo brakes to give you immense stopping power. At the back, it's business as usual for the Aston. You've got the blade lights, which are reminiscent of the DB9. You've got your Vantage emblem, your Aston emblem, and one of the key things I like about this is the way that the bodywork is moulded around the exhaust tip. Just shows that bit more quality, a bit more attention to detail. But it's the sound that comes out of these beauties that is the most impressive thing. And the engine that produces that sound is Aston Martin's hand-built 4.3 litre V8, which churns out 380 brake horsepower and will propel you from 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. Overall, very happy with the way the Aston Martin still looks to this day. If you're thinking about getting one but you're slightly worried about its perhaps dated appearance, I found a website, it's Aston Martin website, where they go into more modern interior parts, exterior parts, and even performance. So again, if you're in the market, you're looking to try and modernise the way your Aston looks, head on over to that website. I'll put a link in the description as well. That's enough about the exterior. I'm going to go into first person mode to check out this interior. Alright, so to get in, you want to be pushing this part of the handle, and you want to unlock it first. So you want to push that button and pull the handle open. You'll notice that you've got an inscription, hand built in England, on the door sill, and straight away you've got the handbrake on the right hand side with this lovely aluminium handle, not plastic. Step in. And the first thing you're greeted with is this huge dash, which, due to these lines, just makes it feel like it goes on for such a long time. And you've got the long bonnet, which I can assure you get very used to. Inside you've got this, in this particular spec, I believe this is called the St. James red leather, and there's just vast amounts of it. It feels like a very high quality product. Quality is high on the Aston Martin's agenda. You've got this lovely layout of the your automatic gearbox, your neutral, your drive, reverse, and then your engine start. You've got your infotainment, lovely Aston Martin clock, and then you've got these milled switches. They're not hand painted, they're not plastic painted to look metal, and then you've got your usual hazard lights, AC, door locking, and then the roof. Got electronic adjustable seats. Again, once you get in, you hunker down, you feel very low. I think the first time you'll sit in one of these, you'll feel low, but that's not a problem. You can just raise a seat. You've got ample legroom and headroom. I'm about 6 foot and I feel very comfortable. You've got the flappy panels, they feel very lightweight. Flappy panels, very sporty, and you've got this leather steering wheel with a nice Aston Martin emblem. The dials, you've got the anti-clockwise, the trademark anti-clockwise rev, and then you've got that milled finish look on the rest of the dials. A very nice touch. Structure, it means it's quite lightweight. That, in addition to the engine being mounted behind the front axle and its relatively short overall wheelbase, means that you get a lot of feeling through the way the body moves and also the steering. It came out in 2006, 13 years ago. Can't believe how modern it actually still feels. Ultra comfortable to drive. All I want to do is book somewhere in Europe, the Nürburgring perhaps, and just go. I think you could drive this car all day and all night. I don't think you'd have a problem. I really feel this car is the true spiritual successor to the E-Type Jaguar. That again was a bespoke coach-built shell with all new underpinnings, whereas this follows the same pattern. I know the F-Type has come out, but that feels run-of-the-mill from Jaguar. That feels, I don't think it has that same special feeling that this Aston does. Ultimately, as a driver's car, this has got everything that you would need. And of course, that soundtrack. In terms of general ownership, people are going to question the reliability of the car due to it being an Aston Martin and of its age. What I can say about the DB9 and the V8 Vantage is they were built in a purpose-built factory and went through very high, intense scrutiny during the development process. So they're about as reliable as they can get. That being said, any car with a full service history and that has been looked after is always going to be more reliable than that one that has not, regardless of where it's been built. Tax on a car like this, you're looking at £570 a year, which sounds like a lot, but when you take the average price of a pint in London at £5.20, that equates to about 109 pints, which divided by the number of weekends, 52 say, you're looking at 2 pints a weekend. Whilst that may solve one drinking problem, the Aston Martin does have a V8 under its bonnet, so you can expect figures around 20 mpg. If you drive conservatively, you can see that increase to around 25, which sounds bad, but when you compare it to, say, a V8 Range Rover or the Jaguar XK8, it's no worse. I really do think there's an argument to say that this car could be the spiritual successor to the E-Type Jaguar. We still talk about the E-Type Jaguar's beauty, the way it drives. It's a much older car, I know, but this Aston was built in a purpose-built factory. Everything in here is Aston Martin. The only thing that is borrowed is the key, but everything else is going to feel special for a very long time. Well guys, our time with the Aston has come to an end today. I just want to say a massive thank you to Neil at Sterling Cars for lending me the Aston for today's video. Be sure to check out their stock. I'll put the link for their website in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.